Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I trust you are all doing great. James from JTS Smith Tutoring here. Today, we are continuing with the matrix equations. So let's get going. Assuming that all matrices are n by n and invertible, solve for x and d. So I've given you some known properties which you need to know to be able to solve these equations. This is not all there is to it, but this is enough arsenal for you to be able to tackle the given problems. Let's get going. All right. So we want to solve for x in this equation here. So the whole idea is to do whatever we can to isolate this x right here. So what do? If I multiply this a squared with its inverse, that's just going to give me an identity matrix. And the multiplying that identity matrix with this x is going to give me that x. Beautiful. That is what I want. But whatever I'm going to do to this term here, I'm going to do it throughout, because this is an equation. Whatever you do, it must be balanced. All right, beautiful. So you can see this is exactly what I'm doing right here. So this gives me an identity matrix. I've got my x exactly where I want it to be. This is going to give me a to the power -2. And this one here is going to give me a to the power -1 multiplied by b. So obviously, all I simply need to do is to take this to the other side. That is, I have to transpose it, and boom, here I am. And you can see this step was not really necessary, but I just decided to do it. You factor out that, beautiful, awesome stuff. There, I've solved for x. All right, what about here? I want to isolate again this x right here. So I know that if I multiply with the inverse of b and I multiply with the inverse of a, I should be able to isolate my x here. And whatever I'm questioning. Okay, beautiful. So doing all that, that's going to give me my x where I want it to be. So I've successfully managed to isolate the x. All right, here, this is going to give me an identity matrix. By that, I'm still going to have my b inverse there. This one is going to give me an identity matrix. By that, it's going to give me my a inverse right there. So for me to completely isolate x, I simply need to subtract the b inverse from the left-hand side. Beautiful. There we are. I've isolated my x. I've solved it for my x. Wonderful. All right. Going to see, I want to subtract the identity matrix on both sides. Okay, wonderful. So we all know the drill right now. Multiply this with the inverse of b, multiply this with the inverse of a, and I'm going to do it throughout. This is exactly what I'm doing right here in my second step here. Beautiful. I've successfully managed to isolate this part here, which is what I have right here. This one is going to give me the identity matrix, and okay, the inverse of a there. Okay, beautiful. Okay, awesome stuff. The next thing that I have to do is just beautiful. I've successfully managed to solve for my x. All right, let's look at D. I want to isolate this part here. So what I'm going to do first is to multiply this by the inverse of B, by the inverse of A, and I have to do it throughout. Okay, which is exactly what you see me doing right here. So I've right here. This is going to give me an identity matrix multiplied by the inverse of A. That's going to give me inverse of A here. This is going to give me an identity. This one is going to give me an identity matrix. Okay, beautiful. So I still have got the inverse of X multiplied by the inverse of A right here. Okay, beautiful. The next thing I did was to collect all like terms. So I took this to right here, and I took all this to the right-hand side right here. It's only x here. I need to take the inverse of x. So what I'm going to do is to take the inverse of every matrix right here. So of every term that I have, which is exactly what you see me doing right here. After doing all that, I'm left with x it's x plus xa. So factoring out my x, this is what I'm going to have right here. So for me to isolate this x, I'm just needing to take the inverse of this on both sides. Beautiful. Did you see that, Jimmy? You threw that miles away. Awesome stuff. There is my x. I've successfully solved it for my x. All right. Let's move downtown where I need to solve for my d. Oh my God, looking at this, it appears as if, oh my God, how am I going to do this? This is serious. Oh, this is dangerous. Oh my God, there's nothing serious or dangerous about this. Okay. Look at this. It's very simple. I've got D right here. So I need to isolate D on this left-hand side. So all I'm simply going to do is that I'm going to multiply all this with the inverse of this entire expression here. And also multiply this with the inverse of this entire expression, which is exactly what you see me doing right here. And remember, since this is an equation, whatever I do on the left-hand side is exactly what I'm going to do on the right-hand side. Beautiful. By so doing, I've successfully managed to isolate my D. Right, now let me concentrate on this right-hand side here. Product, this is a product. So I've taken advantage of that property of matrix inverse, which states that when you are dealing with inverse of products, it is equal to the individual inverses in reverse order. Okay, beautiful. Awesome stuff. So, okay, beautiful. This is what you see right here. And this be inverse right here. But I know that multiplying this inverse with this is going to give me an identity matrix, of which multiplying a matrix with an identity matrix is going to give you the original matrix. Beautiful. So it is this whole expression here. You haven't just dropped this part here because that's going to give me an identity matrix. Awesome stuff. You have successfully solved for D. Okay. The same applies to my E here. Oh, no, for a skill, certainly not. Check it out. I want to isolate this D. So I'm going to multiply this entire expression here with its inverse and also multiply this entire expression here with its inverse, which you see is exactly what I'm doing right here. By so doing, it's going to isolate my D, which is exactly what I have right here. And whatever I've done to this left-hand side, it's exactly what I'm going to do to this right-hand side. And then take advantage again of that very same property, which I took advantage of when I was dealing with the E. So this is what you're going to be seeing right here. Okay. And I identity matrix. So it's exactly what I have right here, which is what I'm going to put right here. But obviously without this part here, because this has given me an identity matrix, and multiplying that identity matrix with what I have is just going to give me what I have right here. Beautiful. Awesome stuff. There we are, guys. We have successfully solved for D. You know, just like what Papa Mandela, Madiba said a long time ago, it is always impossible until it is done. Yeah, it was looking so whatever, you know, but that's all we had to do. Awesome stuff, guys. Mama is calling me to do the dishes right now. Yeah, Mama always taught me a good visitor knows when to leave, or she would say a good dancer knows when to leave the dance floor. Right now, let me go, guys. Till we meet again, be rest assured that at JTS Maths Tutoring, we are committed to keeping you mathematically informed. Adios, amigas and amigos. See you soon.